Normally we play a clip for our reactionary.
Okay.
And I need your Kendrick specifically because he was unaware that this was a thing.
Okay.
So back in January, of course, immediately following Trump getting in the motherfucking office, Mississippi decided to introduce a bill that would fine unprotected sex. So the bill is around contraception begins at erection. So
Mississippi
is embarrassing. They might be more embarrassing than Florida, okay?
Yeah. So that Bible is big and on the belt.
Listen.
Them niggas said, don't even get a hard dick.
So a bill to ban unprotected sex without the intent of procreation has been filed, here's the surprise, by a Democrat in the Mississippi Senate. The bill is called Contraception Begins at Erection Act. And while the bill has caused snarky jokes to be jabbed, the bill's author acknowledged the intent is to get a political rise, of course, but also for people who are against abortion to finally have reasons as to why the fuck they're planning these stops on women. So I went into this and it says that basically they would introduce bounty hunters and give incentives to women who are having sex with a man who maybe hasn't talked about their needs and desires to procreate. And a woman could go and pretty much submit him to be arrested because his intent was to have sex with her without the purpose of procreation. Now, when he was reading into this, we were like, okay, so can a man jack off then? Like, is a man able to ejaculate also without the desire to have sex? I don't know if it went as hard as the jack off part, but it did.
That's what the language was.
But the language was around, you can't ejaculate unless you want to have a baby.
Yeah.
Which then he's like...
Semen retention is so hotep, which is not very Mississippi. But...
It's hotep.
It's so hotep.
About the birth of a nation. That's what it's about.
Bruh, it's... Oh my God, she's right.
Have you ever retained your semen?
Absolutely.
Oh.
What was the reason? What was you retaining semen for?
Edging feels good.
Oh, okay. Look,
that's sexual.
We all said, "Oh, it's pleasurable."
It's pleasure.
Okay.
And sometimes it's exhausting. You come and you like, I don't want to do nothing after that.
Bro,
that's where
I want to tell you some tea so bad. I dated an actor in LA that I never had sex with. For a few months we dated. He's great too. You know. And we didn't have sex.
No, nobody didn't.
You're going to be like, really? He didn't want to have sex because he was doing semen retention because he had a role coming up. I was like, nigga, you're not a fighter in the movie. Like, this is a love story. What the fuck? Dog, I was so fucking
Maybe
mad.
he wanted to really look passionate on
I
scene.
ain't gonna lie to you. Anything, you'll have men about to take a test, like in school. And for real, it encompasses your whole focus.
It does. I told you back in the day.
When I want to fuck, I want to fuck.
Okay.
And I can't focus on nothing else.
But fucking.
And if I want to put everything into
whatever you're doing,
a goal, something that I'm trying to achieve and be productive, because if I don't, then ain't nobody gonna want to fuck.
Bro,
right?
at one point,
I need to have this.
feeling your hard dick in the bed and you can't, and then, oh my God, Kendrick, I swear to God, one day this production house was like, listen, we want to do a rewrite. I was like, we fucking. You rewrite that motherfucker and we fucking.
You know what's crazy? But no, I do. And maybe this is where I know we get into like the gender war topic of it all and how men and women are different.
Yeah.
But you may actually be, maybe that's like a chemical thing with men. Cause like back in the day when I was dealing with athletes, playoffs, I got no dick. They was focused on winning a ring.
Cause they want more, they want their testosterone.
They want everything.
We got money
They
on the line.
They need their legs to work.
Yeah.
But have you ever had sex and try, a few weeks ago, shout out to Trap House, coming.
You can also screw up your back and other things.
That's bullshit.
Okay, that's
no, it
bullshit.
is not.
No, I
No,
did
it
that
ain't.
for a workout
No,
and I
it
was
is not
tired.
bullshit.
You know what? Kendrick
You
did
can
say
fuck
he
up
ain't
your
never
back.
been young. So nigga, you might just be talking from an old man.
I got herniated discs and shit.
That leather jacket do look, see, Monica's is new and trendy. Yours look like vintage.
It is.
See?
Oh my God. This is a lot of dick talk
Monica,
today.
Monica,
This is a lot of
can
dick
I ask
we
you
want to talk about
something?
pussy. I can't.
Can I ask you,
Love this so much.
and I guess there's
so wait,
three women
did we
here.
ever get to the
Have we? What happened?
the headline?
Oh,
finish.
no.
Oh, okay.
Well, I wanted to go from that to actually asking both of you, especially because this is what y'all do. Are there any laws that have been passed that actually do stop or hinder a man from having autonomy of his decisions with his body? Like, I'm curious to know, like, knowing that this was passed, but also just to get a uprise, but also knowing Roe v. Wade was was reversed, knowing that it's kind of easy right now for them to say women can't do this, women can't do that.
Yeah.
Is there any law that exists that does limit a man's decision with what he does?
I honestly don't know, and what I do know is that we have been trying to track and find where people are trying to flip the script in some of these ways.
Okay.
But what is also very real about the different state houses, because a lot of these things are happening at the state level.
At the state level,
right?
yep.
What's true about these state houses is that they are still very much overwhelmingly ran by white men.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And so to move a bill that would put any pressure on them is damn near impossible. Like in the state of Georgia, we're trying to move like progressive maternal health, and that's still impossible, right? Like, it's still an uphill battle to even get midwives credentialing, like our community-based midwives together. Like, I mean, all of those fights are still hard. So to think about trying to do something that we know is going to like put them on the defense is damn near impossible to think about, because the legislatures are not set up that way in most of our most impacted states right now.
I ain't gonna hold you. I signed this bill. I
Okay.
want it passed. Kendrick, would this bother you at all?
So here's my thing. I mean, I don't encourage any more incarceration, any more policing.
Okay.
Right.
I don't encourage anybody to encourage bounty hunters to do anything.
Okay, valid. You're right. I would not.
I don't want to give the state any more power than it has to do the damage that it does. So
That's fair.
I don't believe.
Then you said that.
in,
Now I take my answer back.
and
not
more
gonna work.
police.
Now
Yeah.
make us
I
feel
don't
bad.
believe in police.
I'm
I don't believe in
sorry.
prisons.
But it's not gonna work for
like
us.
to be real, I think all
gonna
that
work
shit
for us.
can
But
go.
you don't believe in any
prisons,
for any level?
police. I am abolitionist.
Abolition.
Oh, wow.
100. I think that there's not accountability in it. If there was an accountability in this legal system, then somebody would have been held accountable for slavery.
Hold on, wait. We gotta go a little
and
bit deeper into no
trafficking.
prison.
I like
We
this
can,
because I disagree.
but
I believe in death
I wanna
penalty
make
and
sure-
prison.
Yeah, so you trust the racist ass
Let me
state
tell
to
you,
kill
I
people?
don't trust anybody.
That's what I'm saying.
But
So-
to me, it's the
But
idea.
what you're saying is that
Oh,
you
I like this
trust
talk.
you trust the death penalty, which means who's killing people?
And who's making that choice?
Who's making that choice?
So
I'm
unfortunately,
not saying
it's
I
going to be
don't-
humans.
I'm not
I
saying
don't trust
I'm not
humans.
saying I'm not a nonviolent person.
Right.
Okay. So let me make it clear.
Yes.
I don't trust white supremacist institutions to have the responsibility to do anything and to have the yes or no over anybody's life.
Agreed.
So and I believe that these state governments
Are set up to be that.
And the systems.
and the federal government is very much a system steeped in white delusion and violence and created by white supremacists, white people who were. I don't like saying supremacists because that
Continue
Yeah.
in power.
it
get
makes
that.
them feel supreme
It
or like
does,
that we
it
think
does.
that they're supreme when we
And we
don't. We
don't.
know that they don't. They're not.
Right.
And we know that it's delusion. It was Sonia Renee Taylor called white delusion.
White delusionism.
Well, yeah.
White delusionism.
And so, when I'm thinking about that bill, it seems more like satire. It seemed like
For sure.
an Onion article where they trying to say like, what if we criminalize men the same way that we add, a violent or harmful consequence to women for a choice that they should have, right?
You know how I actually view
Which-
this? Not as much as satire, but
No,
the
I'm
purpose
saying
of kind of what y'all do.
yeah.
To get an uprise and have these conversations if you flip the script, because so many people can look into like the Bible for reasons and all these other reasons and just how women have been perceived throughout history, right?
Yeah.
But to actually say this is a bill I want passed, what it does is it creates the conversation like these.
Yeah, no.
Where a man can actually
That's why I think it's satire.
think about it.
Satire
Yes.
is good.
Yes.
I think it's good to. I don't necessarily. I'm not saying that I don't know the Democrat. I don't know who's doing. I don't know their intention.
Me neither.
And who they're connected to.
And
because
who they're connected
these types
to.
of things, if you're trying to insert some type of cultural intervention, as I like to call them, in the work that I do, or satire, whatever it may be, then you have to be connected to the people, right? And so I don't know if it's Democrat either. So we don't know if they're connected to community. Have they talked to people about this? Because if you're gonna create,
are they funding Planned Parenthood?
We just don't know. So if you're trying to put something in the community to cause some level of disruption, then what are you doing to ensure that when you cause a disruption, that you're creating some level of safety around those that are going to inevitably be the ones who will be impacted the most? Because that's what's going to happen in this type of bill. It's not going to be the white supremacists or white delusionists, right, that we are going to get caught up in this potentially. It will be our Black brothers. It will be queer and trans people. It will be those people that they are going to try to demonize more. It doesn't work in our favor.
They're always going to use it against us.
Yeah.
And I do think that, I agree with you that I think it's useful in conversation to say, hey, this is the impact that it's having on women. This is the impact it's having specifically on Black women.
Right.
This is the disproportionate or whatever, however you want to frame that around the truth, right? But, if you have the same accountability, and I don't want to call it accountability because it's not really, it's just a threat. It's violence. It's harm. It's not proportionate to what is happening, right? It's making something a crime. I don't like using these big words like criminalization. It's making something a crime that's not a crime. You know what I'm saying?
To have a hard on.
Well, I was talking about abortion, but absolutely, yeah. If I get hard, and I come, I would have got arrested yesterday.
If you were in Mississippi,
if I was in Mississippi,
they would have got you at the poke in them pants.
Yeah. So